Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Audio Annihilation. As always, I'm your host, Morbid Murphy. Let's see what I have for you this week. From the first notes of Acid God, the beginning track off of the debut full-length album Methistopheles by SoCal doom metal band Sixes, I knew that I was in for one beautifully depressing treat. They drone on slowly, smashing every happy thought that you had as if they were cars in a junkyard, for about 2.5 minutes before the vocalist begins to preach his sermon in a screaming voice. I speak not of a scream like that of a child whose friend jumped out from behind a corner. Nay, I mean these vocals are reminiscent of the victim of some horrible experiment in a 1950s asylum. For 14.5 minutes, you are subjected to the insanity-inducing tortured cries of a drug-addled demonic choir as the chainsaw guitar riffs and crunchy, chugging bass lines tear your psyche asunder. Acid God finishes in a din of droning feedback, dark and heavy enough to make you forget any bit of hope that you have left. The feedback left over from the previous sample of Sonic Art, like the filmy residue coating inside of your tutor, only gets darker, stranger, and more ominous going into A Cross to Burn. The foul preacher's sermon is beginning to gain momentum. The vocals have an added level to them, becoming an instrument all their own. Screams and shouting, blended and sung perfectly with each syllable falling exactly where it should. The bass lines are so heavy, I swear gravity has increased tenfold. This song is relentless, going on and on, beating the dog fucking shit out of your senses. It seems to have a cause all its own. The moment Fog Breather begins, you can feel its power. A near 5.5 minute, making it the shortest song on the album, Call to Arms. This song is my new anthem. The drummer sounds as if he was mad at someone and skinned them alive to make drum heads from them. The drum line for this song can only be described as relentless assault. Come to think of it, it's a great way to describe the entire album. Now we come to the title track, Methistopheles. Where A Cross to Burn seemingly summoned Fog Breather, this song was written to summon demons, monsters, and nightmares. This song was written to instill fear into the hearts of even the most fearless of people. It sounds as if the band had taken some bad LSD after a 2-week meth binge and just rolled with it. This song showcases all of their influence. From a screaming black metal attack to crusty shouts to the darkest of death metal breakdowns and bridges. One feels drained after headbanging to this close to 13-minute raid upon your senses. Motherless is the only other track dipping below the 10-minute mark. It's a nice break from the savagery of the last track, but don't let its slow tempo fool you. Don't let its slow tempo fool you. This is one dark fucking song. You smashed my head into the ground. The neighbors watched without a sound. It seems this life will never end. We wish that night that we were dead. Those are about half the lyrics of the song. Again, merely reading them is enough to put someone onto a path of drug abuse and thoughts of suicide, which if you're in a doom metal band, is the exact thing you should go for. And finally, an end to this madness. Or is it? Void Killer begins with a darkened haze that anyone dealing with depression could liken to their own escape, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or the morbid beauty of the thought of their body attached to a beam by a rope and swinging in the breeze. This song brings in some clean vocals, and somehow these cleanly sung words are the darkest of any on the album. They finish strong and bring back the demonic preacher's sermon, finishing in his tortured scream. Each song in this just over an hour-long masterpiece flows perfectly into the next. These 6 songs of black and sludgy horror should be the soundtrack to your fiercest nightmares. By the end of this album, if you come out with even a sliver of happiness or dreams of a bright future, you weren't truly listening, and I mean this in all the best of ways. If this album is any sign to their career in music, Sixes will fit perfectly among the catacombs of doom metal's greatest bands. They fill your ears, your brain, your very being with a torturous onslaught of black, crusty doom. So enjoy this next song, listeners of Metal Public Radio. I bring you Fog Breather. Thank you for listening to Audio Annihilation, only here on NPR.